Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Podcast, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some stocks on the move this week. I am Carol Master along with Matt Miller. With us is Christina Aquino, managing editor for Bloomberg Markets Live blog. Let's start with Carnival.
Carnival, yeah, that stock is up more than 9% at the moment, and it is because it's selling bonds for the third time this year, $1 billion of senior unsecured notes, and the proceeds of that will be used to refinance its debt maturing next year. As you may recall, Chief Financial Officer David Bernstein was saying that paying down debt was, quote, priority 1, 2, and 3 at their most recent earnings calls. So investors really appreciating that they're able to do this at a particular time when the rally in risk assets is really benefiting demand for this sort of debt.
Right? We're talking about the cruise lines, though, right?
Is that Carnival the cruise lines, yeah.
I think what's interesting is, man, they did take on a lot of debt during the pandemic. We saw that in a big way. And I know Fitch, pointing out that it's expected to decline to, $27 billion at the end of this year from $36 billion in 2022. Yeah. That has been priority one. I talked a lot with the CEO of that company, and that has certainly been a priority for them. But in the meantime, their business looks pretty good. I mean, they're very upbeat about people wanting to get on a cruise ship.
Still, yeah,
in a big way.
What are the other stocks you're looking at?
NRG
had an incredible deal today.
Exactly.
I looked at that, just 5 minutes into the trade, they were up 25%.
Mm-hmm. And those gains haven't really let up at the moment, up more than 24%, and we're late into the day in trading. So, yeah, a lot of investors really, really liking that deal. Just a reminder, they're agreeing to buy a fleet of natural gas-fired power plants for about $12 billion. This is essentially an AI bet, right? Because they're betting that the fuel will be crucial to meet the electricity demand from data centers. That's still a really hot part of the AI sector at the moment. And with this purchase, NRG also saying that its adjusted earnings per share will now expand at 14% on a compound annual growth rate over 5 years, up from previously 10%. So, yeah, substantial gain there. And you can see why the stock is really soaring today.
Can I just say one of the big themes at Milliken, too, was the AI data center. People said, yep, they're still spending. They're spending like crazy.
There, right? Because Mira Panda today, she was fantastic on Bloomberg Surveillance, was saying that companies outside of mega cap tech stocks, outside of the AI spend, are not boosting CapEx, but rather buying shares back. So I thought that was really interesting. Everyone else, you have to pay for your data center, but everything else is optional, and maybe a CFO is going to prefer to buy shares.
Right, if you have to make differences, right, or make choices. Yeah. NRG, by the way, the number one gainer in the S&P 500. Cigna, going in the other direction
Cigna,
today.
Exactly. One of the stocks that is in the red at the moment, down more than 6%. And that's after President Donald Trump spoke earlier, proposing his plan to cut out the drug industry middlemen as a way to reduce drug costs. So very interesting, right? The president's executive order focusing not so much on the makers of these drugs, but the middlemen involved in the process of selling them and getting them to the public. And so now we have
negotiating the pricing.
Exactly.
Like that's a big part of what they do.
And that's part of what House Republicans are going to be trying to do. They're reviving measures that would primarily prohibit spread pricing, which is essentially pharmacy benefit managers profiting by paying pharmacies less than what they charge state Medicaid plans for medication. So, this was something that was considered by Congress last year, ultimately didn't pass, but maybe now with renewed efforts behind it, with the president throwing his weight behind it, possibly getting another shot there.
And that's why we see CVS down as well. Cigna and CVS are two of the biggest losers on the S&P if you sort it by percentage terms. When Dave Ricks, who's the CEO of Eli Lilly, was on with David Rubenstein, he was saying the same thing. Like, it's not us, man. It's the middleman, And Trump today also was referring to this magical middleman who's such a great businessman and makes so much money. I guess these are the middleman.
All I know is you go to pick up a prescription or something, and then there's a coupon on this, and there's a deal on this, and it's it's just kind of
too confusing.
Crazy.
It's too much for me.
When I lived in Germany, I just moved back here in 2022. I would go to get my medicine at the pharmacy, and they would say €7.24. And I would say, is there some mistake? Can I not please pay you another few $100? And no, that's just how much it was. So they did something right where we did something wrong. It's like a bunch of friends going out to dinner and we buy every single time.
The Stock Movers Podcast from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.